An American oil rig exploded in the middle of the ocean. The crew had only minutes to escape, but every exit was covered in fire, smoke, and falling steel. And before all of that happened, one worker noticed something was terribly wrong. Caleb stared at the pipe in fear. Dirty mud was leaking from the joint. His face changed instantly. He crouched down, touched the crack with trembling fingers, and saw thick mud covering his hand. Before he could react, more mud started forcing its way out of the well. Everyone on the rig felt something was wrong. The control room quickly closed the annular preventer. As the gate slammed shut, the mud flow was finally cut off. Workers on the platform started running in panic. Caleb got back up and called the control room for orders. Jason told him to open the drill pipe diverter valve. They had to release the pressure fast. Caleb rushed through the falling mud, reached the valve, and twisted it open with all his strength. For the moment, the well kick seemed under control, but nobody knew the disaster had already started. 2 days earlier, the crew arrived at the helicopter pad with their bags. They were heading to the Deepwater Horizon oil rig in the middle of the ocean. Inside the helicopter, everyone was laughing and talking like it was just another normal workday. When the rig came into view, one worker was stunned. This giant machine floating on the ocean looked like an industrial miracle. After the helicopter landed, Jimmy, the man in charge of the rig, immediately noticed something strange. The logging crew was already leaving. He asked if the well had been properly tested, but their answers were vague. It was obvious something had been skipped. Jimmy, Mike, and the others went straight to the control room. The instruments looked normal. The power system was running fine. But Jimmy still had not received the cement test results. That meant a key safety check might never have been done. Mike questioned the drill workers, and they all gave the same answer. No cement test had been completed. Then he asked Jason and found out BP had paid the logging crew to leave early. Mike told Jimmy immediately. The two went to confront BP representative Don. The project was already almost 50 days behind schedule. The extra cost had passed $50 million. So BP wanted to save time, but Jimmy refused to accept the risk. He was responsible for everyone on that rig. Under pressure, Don finally agreed to run a negative pressure test. Jason closed the blowout preventer. Deep under the ocean, the pipe sealed shut. At first, the pressure stayed around 100 pounds per square inch. That looked safe. Everyone relaxed for a moment, but then bubbles began rising from the ocean floor. The gauge jumped to 460 pounds, then 1,000, then nearly 4,000. The result was obvious. The pressure was dangerously high. But Don refused to accept it. He argued that if the pressure was really that high, mud should be coming out of the drill pipe. Since nothing was coming out, maybe the sensor was wrong. He suggested running a second test on the kill line. If that reading showed 0, they could treat the first result as an equipment issue. Jimmy and Mike still had doubts, but they could not see what was happening deep under the ocean. Everything depended on the data, so Jimmy allowed the second test. At first, the kill line still showed pressure, but broken rock inside the pipe suddenly blocked the reading. The number dropped to 0. That was exactly what Don wanted. Nobody realized that this normal result was hiding a deadly problem. When Jimmy got the call, he hesitated. But with the reading showing 0, he finally agreed to continue. Jason reopened the annular preventer. The mud trapped below shot upward instantly. The crew started moving mud through the system, preparing to remove the drilling fluid that had been holding the pressure down. But that move took away their last safety barrier. A few minutes later, the pressure started climbing again. This time, it rushed straight into the red zone. Jason saw the number pass 2,300 pounds and shut down the mud pumps. While everyone was still trying to understand what was happening, Caleb saw mud leaking from the pipe. That was the moment from the beginning. From here, the rig started sliding straight into disaster. The annular preventer, which was supposed to control the flow, was destroyed by high-pressure mud and rock. With nothing left to hold it back, mud blasted up the pipe and slammed into the diverter system. In the work area, one worker heard a strange noise and turned toward the valve. The next second, mud exploded through the cracks. In the control room, Gina saw the alarm. At first, she thought it was just another equipment issue, but when she tried to call outside, nobody answered. On the platform, workers were desperately trying to shut the valves. One experienced worker screamed for everyone to run, because he knew exactly what was coming. When the pressure shot past 4,000 pounds, every bit of hope disappeared. Jason ordered the second blowout preventer to be shut, but under that kind of pressure, it could only buy them a few seconds. Caleb and the others used that tiny window to escape. By now, the force trapped under the ocean had completely broken loose, and inside the drill pipe, the final safety system was about to face more pressure than it could handle.